Okay, this is Gun Life. I'm not even gonna play into the music because I don't really have anything prepared. It's actually one of those things. So all I have to do is check my audio, which seems to be rolling well. I always tend to do this where I go to my own channel afterwards, and just watch from there. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Bullseye. Okay, so everything just went in ahead. And Devious Dave Rose entered in and said, "Afternoon, making stuffed peppers as I type this." Oh, well, awesome, awesome. So I didn't really plan any topics. I just realized that I'm have nothing to do all day, and I could do this. So I decided, why not? I'll make the stream. Now, how YouTube? Now I do have like two of the same streams going on here, so there's that. Oh, everything's good. Everything's rolling. We have everything going good. Yep. So one more chicken, and we're good to go. Like I said, no topics planned. Just realized I had nothing to do, and I could talk about a great many things on here if I wanted to. So there's that. So there, I do have like two of the same streams, one portrait, one landscape. How this works is that basically on StreamYards, I'll be streaming on YouTube in two different ways. One through your shorts, if you scroll through those at all, and one if you're not a short scroller at all, but you do the old-fashioned way. And it works out. I didn't watch Royal Rumble because WWE is boring. I don't know what goes on with AEW because there's that, and pro wrestling is one thing I could talk about, but I have nothing to say about it at the moment. But I will say one thing. I think the pro wrestlers should be focus on being entrepreneurs rather than trying to be wrestlers. A lot of people will disagree with us, but just me. So go after that. So there's that. I won't say too much about pro wrestling, but that's one of the things I'll cover for a bit. There's also the political landscape that I love talking about. So I'll be loving touching up that. And what else? Personal life. I mean, like that's not much to talk about, but since it's personal life, I think, and shit goes on, I think people can relate. So yeah, there's that. Boom. So drop this on my phone. So yeah, what's going on, everybody or nobody? Rather. Now YouTube Shorts usually drops in sometimes like over 20 people somehow, and it surprises me. But at this point, I'm not gonna be surprised anymore. So yeah, and plus the people who subscribe to me don't really get the notification that I'm live. I'm kind of sort of shadow banned. You can't really blame YouTube though. I don't really do anything noteworthy on here anyway, so there's that. So if I'm going forward, all I would have to do is just, dream about something. Yeah, I recently was watching Ken yesterday, and he did go through some Twitter posts and stuff. I thought were kind of funny. He did cover some of that stuff, which is kind of easy. You could just cover whatever dumb stuff is on Twitter. And Ken did that, which is smart. Like it keeps the conversation going. Ah, so funny enough, Mello wasn't there, and since Mello wasn't there, the show kind of felt smooth enough. Abel Solis was there. Casey's Raw called in, and what are the odds? He calls in. Casey Raw. If you just tuned in, hello to you, Casey is Raw. You called in to Ken's show, but I don't know what you talked about because I actually tuned out when you were there. Not saying you were boring, but I kind of lost. I kind of fell asleep because I got bored and tired and stuff. That's what happened. Uh huh. So there's that. So, oh wait, Dave says something. Okay, so he says, disappointingly enough, Ken said he would address the Mellow thing, but never did. Huh. Well, Dave, you and I covered that quite a bit on our own channels. So there's that. And I'm not really disappointed in that. I didn't even expect Ken to do that because I'm still under the impression that Ken still sees him as a friend, even afterwards. Like you even posted in one of his comments that he left under Ken's latest stream saying, "I'll be back better than ever." Wait, hold on, I gotta do the mellow. I'll be back better than ever. And it's just like I'm looking at that. I'm like, well, uh, yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm not sure what to make of that. Really don't. He wasn't there today, but basically because of what happened last week. So we can already say that. But Ken covering that, honestly, I don't think he wants to try to burn a bridge with Mello. So it makes sense with him. Like if at the end of the day, Ken's a kind-hearted dude who tries to his best. I don't know what the best way to say it. He tries to be friendly with people, his friends, basically. And Mello is one of his, I suppose. I don't know what else to say about that. Personally, I mean, he's bearable sometimes. People like him. I mean, people like Mello. Like, do I understand it? I guess they like him for the same reasons we dislike him, but I guess one man's trash is another man's treasure. Mello's an interesting case. I've talked about him plenty of times. I talked about the, you know, we'll just leave. I'll just say this: if he's gonna come back next week, it's just gonna be harder for me to listen in. That's all I'll say. To each their own, though, right? Right. So for the Mello stuff, I mean, like, it's like one of those things where like you don't know why people like, but people do, and people talk about this. But I guess we can be in the same boat because there's people that apparently don't like me either, or you, Dave. Can't even mention this in the past, where like, yeah, there are people who actually go around saying, "Hey, we ruin shows." I don't know, but it's just the way it is. I'm just, that just happened. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, yeah, and not everybody's gonna like the same things. People around here is just like that. So yeah. What is up, Ryan the heel? How's it going? Curiosity killed the cat. You came in here, and I kind of wanted to touch up on this. Scott has went into like Ken's chat talking about doxers. The guy wants to talk about obsessive people, but wants to obsess over people in chat. I mean, like, dude, like, let me see, like, he's gonna get mad at me where, yeah, let's go to Ryan. Scott's obviously gonna get mad at me where I'm mentioning him, but dude, it's obviously you in the chat, dude. Like, why do you have to come around here? Like, you gotta blame people for starting stuff with you, but then you have to come into chat and be like, "How dare you? You think I'm a dark shoes, dude?" Like, can I grip? When we know it's you, dude. Like, literally, I kid you not. I checked the channel. I checked those accounts. Like, they were literally made the day the stream was going. Ken's stream was going. I kid you not. I don't know why he even bothers. Like, why even go this far, dude? Like, move on. Like, the guy wants to fight with people, then complains about people talking about him. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? I mean, you're retarded, Scott, so bye-bye. So if you show up in here, yeah, well, like, you might as well. Because, like, when are you not watching anybody? You even watch me. When you're not watching people. Fucking moron. I'm gonna keep telling people that they don't say anything about me, bye. That's what happens. I'm curious what wrong. I'm not sure what goes on with that though. But there's that. But Ken's stream had a good stream. Abel was fine. But KC is raw, by the way. Dude, you. No, hey, dude, you're cool and all that. But politics is not your thing. Just hey, man. If you're watching this, I'm not hating you. Just like again, politics, not your thing. That's not a bad thing. You're wise. That's not saying you're dumb. It's like one of those things where like, I mean, like I'd prefer you talking gaming or wrestling or something. Yeah. SSI can help those who can't help themselves. Or drama. Yeah, well, it's Scott for you. He always does this. So, like, what do I want to cover? Well, there's some things I want to cover. Apparently, like, Ghost talked to Scott and said to Scott that Dave was a cool dude, and Scott lost his shit in the Discord. But though that was on Joe's show. But also, apparently, Joe also mentioned Danny. Ghost post this, and I'm like, apparently Danny's a rat, and apparently Joe Cronin is tired of people who's on and off with him who love him and hate them. And all I can sit there and go is, huh, wow, streaming with people who loved and hate him at the same time. It's strange, huh? One of those things Joe does, yay. So it's just something to mention. But I won't cover that either. Not too much, at least. It's just something that happened. Joe decided to stay out of the blue, and apparently Danny hated him back and forth. Just like a lot of the people on his, that are his co hosts, aka YR, aka Bullfrog. And yeah, I think we got the point across right there. But who cares? But Joe Cronin wants his retire, so there we go. Not much to say. But what I'm hoping for is some people give an insight about like what's going on with that one. Danny hasn't said anything about that yet, so I'm curious too. Because apparently, Joe Cronin's done with Danny until Danny gives him money. Who knows? I don't know. It's just like I don't know what made Joe say that, but there we go. So yeah, yeah. I've actually been getting a lot of fucking I kid you not. I do not know why, but YouTube keeps notifying me of Scott McKinnon. I don't get it. I block his notifications. Like, dude, stop. YouTube, what are you doing? Like, I'm gonna have to burn my whole fucking feed down just because you keep sending me this stuff. Like, you know, fuck, why am I getting this? Why am I getting this, bro? Stop it. So yeah. So without further ado, I'm gonna go to where I'm gonna go. You do what Ken did. Pretty cool. See what's happening on Twitter. Because like that's basically oh nothing happened, Ryan. Just talking about stuff. What exactly are you asking about though when you say what happened? Because I just talked about a multitude of things at once, to be quite frank. Is it the Danny being talked about thing? Is it the Scott getting notifications about Scott or the Miller stuff? Well, like the lefties are actually hating VTubers now, which is another story I talk about when I got banned from by a VTuber. But this one, like apparently a bunch of leftists are actually mad about like VTubers. There's a VTuber named Powder who says something right leaning which is not much, and it's just talking about like how she's defending her country, and leftist got really pissed off and started betting if her boyfriend is a colored dude. So yeah. And one of the names is called Lumbog. If you watch the shit, you are beneath me. Uh-huh. Good to know. You could barely hear me? Okay, hold on. Let me just change. I'm on speakerphone. Let's say the earpiece. Okay, you should hear me just fine, actually. Makes no sense. Oh well. But anyway, you should hear me just fine. You should hear me. You better show the video. Gotta show the freaking photo, Dave. Gotta see it. Anyway, apparently some VTubers are getting hated now, which brings me another point because I was like looking through this, and apparently somebody who's a VTuber apparently is a right-leaning person. Doesn't really talk about much of anything, just right-wing leaning stuff, and there you go. Content bait, who cares? Leftists are mad about that. Like anything that is a little bit too right for them, they gotta freak out over it. It's what it is. It's what it is. So like another one is like, funny enough, like Twitch is like kind of a safe space for a lot of like weird people. Like Twitch is ran by bunch of Jewish overlords, by the way. But we don't talk about that. Anyway, moving on from that. So like, I kid you not, this is a funny story. Where like I enter into VTuber's chat room. She's like, hey, okay. So I type, hello, what's going on, sir or ma'am? I kid you not. This made her leave the stream for a bit, take a break, come back, and shout, misgendering somebody is the worst thing you could do to a human being. It's disgusting and stuff. I'm like, well, okay, so I know trigger words here. I didn't realize you would actually, sir, ma'am, or sir, or whatever you want to call yourself. Like, and yeah, so this is how you trigger a VTuber. Call them something they don't want to be called, I guess, which is a gender specific something, which is just, yeah. Just, I find that funny. Yeah. There we go. Just to call somebody the worst thing possible. I can make this an open platform anyway. I got plenty to talk about anyway. It's just something to do. Not that it really matters, but I'll just post the stream on link down. Just see if people tune in. No, literally, they are. Like, I scroll on Twitter, all I'm seeing in my feed is everybody freaking out over this one VTuber talking about being racist. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so easy to trigger them. So easy to get under their skin. They have the weirdest fucking anger issues out there. Like, say you like Trump, they have a meltdown. That's it. That's it. Ken even did a review to one of the leftists doing protests where a guy was just wearing a Trump hat. It was enough to make them chase after him and try to beat him up. They do this stuff. They're so weird. They're basically mentally ill. The mental illness of we're in the mental illness era or something. I don't know what to call it. They need something in their lives to be angry about, I guess. Shout out to Six Viewing. I sound like Dave now. What do you think? Oh, somebody's calling in. Hello to you, Dave Rose. Let me put you on. And
yes, it's the Emperor.
And Jemperor Jr. Oh wait, shit! I'm gonna piss everybody off. I hate you, Dave. Yeah, is that convincing?
No, I did. I heard stories with a gruff voice saying that I groomed you, apparently, possibly to
Oh
be the
well,
new emperor. So yeah,
well,
very comical. We've never met in real life, but you know. But
you
regardless,
know what? Maybe
comical.
I'll go on my tirade of, tirade of smiting these weirdos or something. I don't know. They like to say things, and apparently, if I do actually start doing the drama emperor stuff, they're gonna get real upset about that. Because
Yeah,
the moment I pitched the idea about it at the time, they're like, "Oh, see, look, he's actually being groomed." Like, well, okay.
yeah. But then they also, in the same breath, be like, "Oh, he's copying him." It's just like, but you know, who doesn't? Plus, you know, whatever. But
I, ironically, the same people that go like, "Hey, Bullseye copies him," like, I mean, like, what exactly do I copy? I mean,
you use common sense and logic. That's it. Basically, anyone who does that is copying me, apparently, which is a comical concept on its own. But it's just it seems to be the same thing over and over. Oh, you came to this own your own conclusion that matches Dave. You must be groomed. It's like no, there's intelligent people out there that can make up their own mind. You can throw out the autism, but you know what? You're not a doctor. You're just some person on the internet who's losing badly, and there are some of us who actually can recognize that if someone thinks that they can diagnose autism and has their own problems in figuring out what reality is, we already know that they're not qualified to define this. And again, like somebody like YR, for example, was sort of like using that as a pejorative, saying, "Oh, you've got autism, you must be retarded." But meanwhile, he's on Joe Cronin's show saying, "Oh, what's his name? Jenny Muppet Lady or something? I don't know.
Muppet lady, what's going on
Muppet
with
Baby,
that?
Muppet Baby, Jenny Muppet Baby, something like that." Well, anyways,
Yeah.
like they try to corner her and make it sound that she was homophobic, a word that doesn't exist, created by Marxists, regardless. But they try to corner her, and they try to do the same thing with Tommy. I remember where Joe specifically was saying, and Leah was saying, "Well, do you support the LGBTQ?" And it was just like an attempt to get a gotcha in there. And he obviously has made it very clear, like because of his religion, but also basic morality. He says, "No, I'm not gonna fall into that." But you guys know my stance, and again, very very similar with YR, who is like him and Bullfrog are acting all gay and shit, and then somebody who's on the show who objects to that. But there's so many people who hate the fucking gay talk. I know of people who still watch Joe but hate that fucking shit from YR and Bullfrog. And when it's called out, they try to flip it. And Joe, loving his social justice shit, allows it to happen. But they're trying to corner this girl into, saying that she's homophobic, and there's nothing wrong with being against the gays, especially gays like YR, who's just so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, to cover that for a bit, that is a good thing to lead on because like YR does a lot of this, what you just described, gay stuff. And when you say be against gay people, to clarify what Dave means, he doesn't actually mean hate gay people. So before you guys freak out, not that they're going to be here anyway, what Dave means is being against homosexuals who try to promote this to young children, saying this is normal, but it's not. It really isn't.
But it's not even normal to, again, norm is not morality. That's what a lot of idiots get.
I agree.
What does the norm mean? It means, well, what's the norm in the world? What is most common? Well, 98+% of people are heterosexual. Therefore, that's the norm. That's the precedent set by nature, right? Simple. That's what nature itself dictates. So this is not like, oh, is it moral? Because I'll still say it's immoral. Right. And not just based on religious beliefs. It's basically based on nature itself. It's immoral to be homosexual. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or says about me, and they can call me all the names they made up fucking Marxist names. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. But that's what I believe. And again, when people talk about the norm, they're not talking about morality. They're just saying, well, the majority of people out there are straight. That's just a simple fact. So don't tell me that when I say normal, oh, you're saying that it's not moral. No, I'm saying that it's not typically found in nature. And the majority of human civilization up to this point, thousands of years, has shown that it's not the norm. Therefore, it's not normal. Right. And they try to, on purpose, these communists try to misconstrue and cross paths of two different discussions and say, oh, now you're talking about morality. And that's a totally different, separate topic.
Yeah. So Johnny Shaker apparently was coming to my chat, and he's in the different sort of streams. So he's saying,
is he in there right now? Because I don't see him.
Well, you're in a different chat than he is, but I should show this on stage. Because he's talking about where Casey apparently went to Joe Cronin's Discord or something. I don't know about this, but he's talking about how Casey was on a show, and Joe Cronin was along with his
that's one of the troll accounts that's trying to start shit. I don't know about what's being said, and really because it's coming from a troll, I really don't care. So
basically just some dumbass trying to
they're just, again, they've got nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon, and meanwhile I'm making those stuffed peppers I was telling you about. I'm making a bunch of them because it's not only for dinner tomorrow, but it's going to be for lunch as well. And I just made a nice big quantity and stuff, and I'm waiting right now on my I wasn't organized that well. So basically my green peas, I'm making those right now. And once those are ready, basically I can mix them in with everything. Everything else is ready to go. And then I've got my peppers ready to stuff. Going to grate some cheese. The ones that I'm going to be eating at lunch, I'm going to put in the oven and make. But the other ones, I'm just going to, cover with cheese and cover with saran wrap so that they're prepared for dinner.
All right. So, apparently Johnny Shaker is not trolling, and he tells me to do your research. But, he can stay. I don't give a shit. You're not going to see him anyway.
I don't care. I'm just saying, it sounds like a very similar name that we've seen previously, and the screenshots in my super secret server drama channel certainly show that. So, keep saying whatever you want, trying to gaslight Bullseye. It's not going to work. So.
Yeah. So anyway, on to the Marxist stuff where you talk about the norm. You can't. Yes. You don't know exactly how much I agree with you about this, because like at the time, oh dude, there's so much examples of this that actually show that you're right. Where like for instance, masturbation. One of the things that is a norm of society, but really it trains your brain neurologically to actually see women sexually. Basically training your brain to crave fantasy. So these things are actually unhealthy, like being gay, for example. This might come off as crude and mean, but let's be honest here, being gay is in fact unhealthy. I mean, like...
If you just take a look at the health stats alone, yes. I mean, I believe the average age of a gay man is 50, at death is 56 or so, and that's like crazy. Of course, there's examples that aren't exactly that, but the average, due to the high risk level, lifestyle that they lead, does cause, their average lifespan to be 56 years old. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, honestly, like is kind of sad too. So it kind of just shows you, and I'm not kidding, like there's also evidence of people actually can stop converting. Well, I don't know if the right term is converting, but I'll use it anyway. Converted from being a homosexual, be like, this is sinful. I'm going to turn from my ways and, follow Jesus. There's actual evidence of this where people seek therapy.
Certainly there is.
Yeah, seeking therapy and turning from this. There's so many examples of this. I know this might seem kind of mean to gay people, but let's be kind of honest here. Biologically speaking, there's no beneficial and evolutionary advantage you get as being gay.
Again, if you want to take an atheistic look to the whole thing, you would see that that's exactly the case. There's no, and I've tried to argue this to people, but they don't seem to get it. But evolutionary speaking, take God and religion out of it. If you are an atheist, if you believe just in science, trust the science, all that shit. Okay, evolutionary speaking, how do you think that this helps propel the genetic line of an individual who has homosexuality. It doesn't. In fact, it's a genetic dead end. Because they can't breed, they're not going to be passing on their genes to the next generation. So that is telling us that if you want to take it this just atheistic, nature science stuff, it's telling you that gays are doomed to extinction because there's no genetic advantage to including them in the gene pool.
Yeah, but okay, so even
That's
then,
that's not heartless. That's basically saying devoid of emotion. This is what the science is telling us. If this is what we're seeing, these are the facts, and therefore science clearly is telling us this. This is not about morality. This is not about religion or anything else. It really is about what is science telling us blatantly through this simple example.
Yeah. To talk about this as well, Dave is right, and a lot of let's be quite frank here, a lot of atheists, leftist commies, will use science to be like, oh, Christians and religion deny science, but really go for science that appeals to their ideas only. That's just kind of how they are.
Whatever they think fits their narrative. That's it. They'll ignore other evidence that's put right in their face.
Yeah, it's so strange to me too. Like, I used to be agnostic and I used to be an atheist myself because I was back and forth with this stuff. But the more you think about it, but let's be honest here, the more you actually think, the more you actually kind of be like, well, you know what? There has to be something out there. It can't just be like, minded, because when atheists go by they do this all the time. Even left, it doesn't matter who they are. This is what they do. They think being an atheist makes them smarter than a Christian. This is how they are. Like, literally, I kid you not. They'll be like, well, scripture and all these things contradict themselves, but, well, okay, so is morality relative? They believe so. So do you believe murder is okay based on what society says? They actually don't 100% agree with their own logic all the time. Half the time, they'll actually won't agree with it. This is how they are. They don't actually put thought into their own ideas. They just know, I don't like Christianity. I don't like right-wing conservatives. So maybe I'm smarter, so therefore I'm going to be left-wing. There's even like studies in college. This is an important thing to bring up because a lot of this colleges actually convert Christians to being atheists. A lot to do with more so culture, based on the fact that basically, like, hey, they don't like Christians. And let's be honest here, Christians in even Christian countries are hated. Okay, we can just go over the freaking pillaging and the ethnic cleansing that goes on religiously in Africa. But I'll start with this one. The fact that the matter is they're trying to replace Christianity with atheism, with the exception of Islam, because you'll see a lot of Islam people go to college but not convert to atheism, because these colleges, any atheist will be like, no, I hate all religion, but only talk about Christianity. Why is that? Because Christianity has dominated the world for so long, including, this might sound harsh too, but white people, but mainly Christianity. Look what happened in China, where the communist regime was killing Christians. They rose up, took over the country, took back the country, right? Look what happened to Islam in North Africa, when they were killing a bunch of white Christians and enslaving black Christians as well. Guess what? The Crusades came by. Christians killed them. The Nazis. Now, they weren't really Christians, but Hitler was a Christian at the time. He went theist, but they did have some Christian ideology. Guess what was happening there? Marxists were literally in what is it called again? The camps, extermination camps, where they were bringing Christians and Orthodox Christians and Muslims, killing them. Guess who stopped that happening? It was a fascist Nazi who turned out to be used to Christian, but more so theist, wasn't atheist, by the way. And, was kicking the Marxist USSR army's ass. That's what happened. So throughout history, it shows that Christianity, and basically Christianity, was the leading force in winning a lot of these, taking out these evil situations. Unfortunately, Nazis are framed as this, even though arguably true, but evil regime. But meanwhile, what the concentration camps was, not just Jewish people, but you'll also see like Marxists, atheists, not just Jewish, but even gay people. They were killing. They're trying to eradicate evil. Like Hitler was framed as this evil man. He is, but compared to your Stalin's, no. I don't know if you agree with this, but my point being is Christianity helped save the world more often than not atheism. In fact, atheism almost destroyed it, starting with the Stalinism, the Marxism. Jewish, by the way, but you get the point. Anyway, Johnny Stalker was going at it in my chat quite a bit, like cost cases ago.
What do we got?
Johnny Shaker was in my chat for quite some time, typing away, saying it's true, and not lying, it's true. Casey Wisdom, get him on the call. I'm like, I mean, okay, thanks for sharing for the class. But anyway, I don't know if you count all what I was saying, but mostly I was making the point that Christianity saved the world more often than any other practice.
Yep, I don't disagree. But no, I was just calling in because you put out the link there and all that. Wanted to mention about YR being hypocritical and
YR
such.
being gay and stuff. Well, so talking about YR, should we talk about YR being gay? I mean, well, actually, honestly, let's just start with the fact that he does gay shit and claims to be a Christian.
I've talked about it enough. I think the evidence is there. This is not 1990s. Pretending to be gay isn't funny. This guy has a whole fucking bookshelf of dildos. He's doing this whole moaning thing to the point where even Joe's fans are against it and are disgusted by it. And he just tries to flip it. He tries to criticize you and others do because they think that they've got doctorates. Meanwhile, they can barely speak like humans. And they think, oh, I can assess autism. And meanwhile, they'll use that as a pejorative, and meanwhile they'll call other people homophobic because it advances them as being, pro degeneracy sort of thing. And it's just the hypocrisy is just hilarious coming from YR. I guess those Keith bucks have dried up. Now he's just trying to get people to donate, but it just goes to show who YR is. Puppet Master confirmed.
YR's not a hard case to figure out at this point.
Also, I mentioned about Mello because it was Ken who mentioned about Mello. Ken was talking at the beginning of the show saying, I'm going to address what happened last episode, and he never did. And I was just curious as to what his thoughts were about being disrespected so badly by Mello. And Mello actually wrote in the comments of that video, which I put in my super secret server, that he's like, oh, me and Ken are great. We're going to be back. His grammar is shit because he's like, we're going to be back stronger and funner. So I'm wondering, does he mean funnier or does he mean more fun? Now, obviously, he doesn't understand that sort of thing. And he just, sort of, because Mello wasn't on that episode because of what he did the last episode. So for him to sort of ignore that and try to pass it over, it is typical of the of Marxists. He's like, he wants to tell people that the past didn't happen. So it's just like, I just wasn't here tonight. It had anything to do with last time, but we'll be back stronger and better and funner because nothing happened between me and Ken. That's what he's saying with these comments.
Yeah, I've already covered this kind of briefly. I don't know if you caught it, but I was basically saying, I think Ken did say this, but I don't think he wanted to cover it based on.
You did. That's why I addressed it, because I mentioned in the chat and you addressed what I mentioned. But yeah, you did say that. But the thing is, though, first of all, again, I'm saying that Ken mentioned he would address it in the show. That's why I'm bringing it up, because Ken said that at the beginning, and I was like curious as to what he said. But of course, he doesn't want, because if he didn't want to remain friends with Mello, he would have come out with a scathing video after mine saying, look at what Dave noticed and stuff. And you know what? Dave is correct because blah, 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 blah. So obviously he wants to stay friends with Mello, but I know he talked to Mello because, again, the way that he wasn't there on the other show, and Mello, just like I predicted, Mello wanted to let things cool down from last episode, especially after I fucking eviscerated him. So that's that. Again, he's just trying to pretend like nothing happened, like, oh, I'm just not there. But letting things die down and hoping that people will forget. But, I won't forget. Many people won't forget. So many people came to me, even said, I thought Mello was better than that. I didn't want to believe what you were saying, but, this video just proves it, out of the park. And it's the truth.
I will say this. I did cover this briefly, but you did a better job than I could. Because, like, honestly, I couldn't really sit through it as well as you could. First and foremost, you did bring up better. You did explain it much better than I could when it came to Mello and his behavior.
Thank you.
I did my best to cover it, and because you were nausea at the time, so I decided, okay, I'll cover it. So when I covered it, I wanted to go over what was going on, and I covered what I thought was right. So I covered that, and especially with the illegal immigration, basically. So what gets me the most about the whole thing, though, is the fact that Mello has always been defending this. And when people defend that, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's so strange to me, knowing full well that the floodgates were open. Biden literally dismantled Trump's border security just so to say fuck him, regardless of how many people would come in illegally. That would actually cause more homelessness, more home invasions, inflation, like price, supply and demand. It just fucked everything. And to defend it is just like, why? You know it's not good. And he goes, well, people are dying. Trump is killing people. Who is he killing?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really him, but these people that were given orders and stuff, they're being anti-constitutional. I was like, but no, they're following the Constitution exactly, and they're following orders. They're doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Well, it's not really, I did say that Trump was killing them, but it wasn't really him. So then why are you throwing this? He keeps fucking backstepping when he gets called out on this shit.
I think it's mostly because he wants to defend illegal immigration, but he just doesn't want to be like, yeah, I'm a Democrat who supports this. Like, you might as well just come out and say it.
No, but he's been saying it for years, which is what I've been saying, is that this guy's always made it very clear where he stands. But then he tries to, again, play a clown, fucking ham it up, and do a Joe Cronin, just kidding, not kidding. So, again, the role that he's playing is the fucking clown. It's really him, though. So he's trying to essentially push his ideology while trying to convince people that he's not that serious, although he is, because he continues to do it. And then he reveals that, yes, this is exactly how he feels. It's not exactly as Ken said, where he just tries to be contrarian on shows just to make it better, to give to give two views of a topic that's being discussed, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. But there's necessarily nothing wrong with having 5 people on a call saying, you know what, ICE is right, these fucking protesters are wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. So you don't need to add contrarian views into that to make it a proper discussion, because unlike Mello, you have genuine people on that call who are willing to say, you know what, I can understand, I can, being a conservative, and this is statistically proven, I have more empathy for my fellow men than liberals have for their fellow men, even if they are liberal. So I can try to see the view of a liberal and say, okay, I understand why they're reacting that way and all these things, and I still think that they should have certain amount of rights and so forth. But you cannot find that on the left. Meanwhile, I, being so far right, I don't give a flying fuck what the fucking opinions are on the left. I would fucking mow them down with fucking live ammunition, no problem. So
right. Going off to the left and the ICE thing, honestly. Let's be real here. ICE is being very kind to them, especially with Renee Goodman.
Too kind.
to that Renee Goodman, they were kind to her. Shooting her was like the least they could have done in her situation. This might sound mean again, but let's be real here. She almost killed a man named Ross, literally gave him internal bleeding. Okay. He was in front of the car. Okay. No matter what you want to say, or no matter what you want to think, she got off easy. She got off easy. It could have been worse for her. It literally could have been. They were nice to her. They told her to get out of the car. She refused. She was breaking a federal law, interfering with agents' duties. There's several videos of this showing that she's blocking ICE agents' attempt to, go near any Somalians, right? Plus, with her dog in the back seat. Just so you know, maybe like, oh, maybe an animal abuser too, child abuser, maybe. Who knows? We don't know for sure. But overall point, I'm making the point that she was doing something illegal, and she almost nearly murdered another man, just with a smile on her face. And you know what the liberals do? Oh, but she was a compassionate woman. She was doing nothing wrong. They killed her in cold blood. Uh-huh. And what was she was about to do? What was she gonna do? You tell me. Just give him a high five along the way, or nearly kill a man. I think the latter is there. Just saying. Just saying. I think ICE is being very kind to the liberals. They're being very kind. But when it ends in death, it's somehow they're the evil Gestapo police or something. You know?
Yeah. Anywho, I gotta get back to making my food prep. But
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for taking my call. And yeah, we'll see how Mellow behaves going forward. But and again, once a Mellow, always a Mellow.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I don't know why people come in here and say this stuff. Hi, Scott. I don't know why you come here and say this, but you reveal yourself. Thanks for obsessing over me now.
Who did you or me? Like, who's that referring to? I don't think that name even came up.
Oh no, let's show it again. Scott Shaker.
Never forget, Bullsy got lost on his way home from school at 17, but we heard the story and he didn't get lost. But again, that's the same account that you just blocked, the Johnny Shaker. It's again, Shaker is the key here. So, but yeah,
I mean, like,
keep wasting your time on a Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, fucking Bullsy is just here having fun, laughing at stupid people. That's one of my favorite pastimes as well. And I'm making delicious food right now as we speak. So I'm going to attend to that. I'll send you the photos once done, Bullsy.
Yep.
Worthy of trying out that recipe for sure. But you have yourself a good weekend, and we'll talk next time.
Yep. So see you later, Dave. And thank you for the trolls for the views. Please sure you press that like button too. I really appreciate it. Hey, man. Hey, keep reaching. Maybe you'll win one day. One day, one of these days, you'll win, right? So we talked about a few things. Yep, Ryan says he'll said it best. Exposing them accounts. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Dummy. What an idiot. Keep typing. Keep typing. Come on. Got more. So that's it of this. I don't know if the stream arguing you guys see again, but I'm putting it in again. Baby Ryan. I don't know if Ryan wants to call in, but yeah, if you want to call in, go for it. But there's some comments I want to see, but so apparently I'm a Joe fan, must admit Johnny wasn't lying. Apparently retired PC Nixon is a Joe fan. I don't know if they're for sure. Alright, I'll humor you guys. Let me see this supposed Joe stream. Like, what Let me see this supposed Joe stream. Joe Cronin. If this is supposedly true, what timestamp? What stream? And maybe I'll humor you. What timestamp? What stream and what timestamp? Then I'll cover it. Other than that, I just won't bother. It's fine, Ryan. It's still there any time. So, but either way, though, anybody that with that StreamYard thing, or anybody in the comment section telling me I better do this review. It's happening. Go on. Come on. I'll wait. I'll wait. That's the rule. Stream name and timestamp. If you can't do that, you can count your losses. I'm not gonna freaking do your research. I'm not gonna do your work. That's all I'll say. So we covered that thing. So the wire and Bullfrog stuff. The Bullfrog thing. Retired Nixon apparently brought up Bullfrog as well. Dave Rose proven right again. Says Mello is more liberal than Bullfrog. And Bullfrog is a bit of right-leaning himself, surprisingly. I've talked to him in the past. I don't know about him being liberal now. I don't know if when he became liberal. He's always been retarded, don't get me wrong. Liberal, I don't know. He's always hated people like Biden. He always hated like the left. He's gay though. He's a gay retard. Nonetheless. So the left would love him just based on that. Until they hear his opinions about Trump, who likes him. Then he'd be the biggest retard and he deserved to be in a mental hospital. I don't know. It's either or with lefties. You can't win with them. Unless you agree with everything they say. That's just the way it is. So I'm gonna go to Twitter. I'm gonna go see the comment Dave mentioned again, because I do want to kind of go into this a little bit more, because it's kind of strange that even if this happens. I make good steak, by the way. Great steak. So Miller wasn't here yesterday. Wasn't there on Ken's yesterday stream. So basically, he took a break, I guess. We don't know for sure what happened, but we can guess for sure it was based on last week. And Mello says, better than ever. It's going to be better than ever. But I'm going to ask this sort of question to people. And this is just me. Do you actually think Mello is being genuine here? Do you actually think Mello just took a break because he just wanted to, I don't know, recuperate? Or do you think he took a break because he realized, oh shit, I made people mad? There's that. So I honestly think basically a lot of this stuff happening with Ken and Mello is just because he realized, oh shit, I'm fucked up. I don't think Ken wants to ruin a friendship with Mello, and I don't think Mello wants to ruin the friendship with Ken. But that's being nice about Mello. Quite frankly, I don't think Mello is being genuine with this one. So yeah. So again, apparently you guys didn't want to send me a freaking link or you stream. So that apparently Casey was on. So I really can't tell you what the deal is with that one. Again, guys, I don't know why you came in here telling me I better look this up, but not really telling me where to look. But I'm not really, if I'm going to review it, might as well tell me. If you want me to review it. Again, timestamp and stream name, like that's it. I could actually do a pretty good review. You want it? No? Okay. Whatever you say. Maybe you'll quit one day. So yeah, I went a good portion. I'll hang out for a bit more, 5 minutes. Other than that, I'd just leave it there. You guys, because I'm like looking through news to see what else is out there to talk about. I'm talking about like the host with the VTubers, lefties being mad at VTubers. So like apparently there was there was another guy. I don't know who died, if he died or not. But apparently there was a guy who died because he kicked the ICE agent vehicle and he was brought down to the ground and shot. I don't know what the deal was with that one, but I've seen the video. I don't know his name, but apparently he was being a bad man. And I don't know why he decided to do that. Thought it was a good idea. So clearly he was being detained. He was shot because they saw a weapon on him. And let me just say this about this. I've seen Lefty Tunes make fun of right wingers saying, "Oh, don't have a gun. Oh, I thought you protect the Second Amendment." Let me just say, if you have a firearm, you're carrying a firearm and stuff, and you do something stupid and illegal, it's called having common sense. It's not saying you're not allowed to have a firearm. If you do something bad and you have a firearm and you show you're a threat, more than likely or not, you're gonna get your ass kicked or shot. Just saying. Is it wrong to have a firearm? No. But sometimes you need common sense. Here, the ICE agents and officers are humans too, believe it or not. And let's just say it's about your own safety. It's not about not about legality at that point. We're talking about safety. If you have a wet firearm and you're doing something stupid with the fire, and you happen to have a firearm, expect the worst. Expect the worst. This isn't no like no like, Second Amendment. Yeah, Second Amendment. Yeah, I live in the Second Amendment. I don't believe in doing stupid stuff. I mean, like, hey, let that sink in. But apparently that will go over everybody's head. They don't understand that. So weird, isn't it? Ken had a good stream yesterday with this selling stuff. Dave did have a good stream like the other day when he reviewed Mellow stuff. So those are good streams. They do good solos. I kind of personally want to see them do more streams together because they actually bounce off each other very well. So I do hope for that in the future. So there's that. I don't know what else you guys think about that, but I think it's awesome. So yeah, there's the streams. I was thinking of like doing gaming streams more often. And well, actually, yeah, there's that. Also, I'll talk about this briefly. Well, I am planning on making a video, like a premiere of a YouTube video. Put it together a video. I'll make this video. And it's gonna be a bit. I already have my notes what I wanted to say. Like I've been looking at other videos and how it's done. I basically want to make it somewhat the same style. What I'm hoping to do, it's not going to be a pro wrestling video. I've done those in the past. Check them out, by the way. They're really, really, really good. Check out Seth Rollins, Past, Present, Future. Cody Rhodes, terrible booking of Cody Rhodes. And yeah, those are the two really good ones. Check them out. They're real good. I also have other videos. Actually, I'm going to play this song, one of my favorite ones. No, I don't have to. Why do I have to upgrade? Never mind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, there's that. Check them out, buddy. They're really good. So, there's that. So, I'm planning on making a video. What is it about? Well, it's actually going to be about AI artificial and girlfriends and shit. Yeah. Someone's favorite talking artificial intelligent AI girlfriend, artificial relationships. That's the video name's gonna be. Very good one. Very good one. I've seen some others cover it, but honestly, it's kind of like something to talk about. I'm gonna talk about it for several reasons because nobody actually gets into it that well. And honestly, they just raise the surface and say that's good enough. She went ahead. I mean, she does fine, but honestly, she kind of is like, hey, it's a woman talking about it, so men watch it. There you go. She even admits her chat is gremlins. Yeah, well, that's a lovely thing. I honestly wouldn't recommend, it's gonna sound sexist, wouldn't recommend listening to a female that's just talking about it surface level points for the sake of it, you know? Just saying. Like, a woman can just make a video and agree with men, and that's good enough for them to get views. That's literally how it is. So I wouldn't recommend that female YouTubers to people. Oh, how dare you? I'm sorry, man, but it's true. It's true. So true in so many ways you couldn't even bother. Ryan, the heel, and Dave are making dinner. I've yet to begin my dinner. Then again, it's actually 3:03 MST time, which means 2 hours later is 5:03 for you two Eastern. I go for MST town, Mountain Time. So it's pretty dang early for me. Very early. I still went an hour. All them trolls ran away and looks like they got upset and cried in the corner. Poor Scunty. Got mad at me. He's gonna make another videos on me. More videos on me. And you wait. Just because of that. Going in chats going, hey buddy, you get your 15 minutes of fame yet? You happy about it? Moron. Retard. Maybe you'll be loved one day. Oh, Casey posted a short. Let's see it. Devious Dave Rowe. That was much intense. Made fun of my glasses. Oh, well, never mind. No one wants to see that. Seeing Casey get made fun of. It's easy. I could do that. We talked about pretty much everything. So there's that. Tomorrow. Oh, here's what Ryan says. Here come 50 more our video shorts on us all, LMAO. Well, maybe he hates Gunty McDirtface. He's got to get the last word in, always. Always trying to pick fights with people. Always. You never know. That's what he does. Why doesn't, like, I don't know, like, Scott just maybe just get alive? Oh, Ryan. I don't know about this, but apparently I was shown a stream with apparently you and chat fighting on Nikki J's stream about something. I'm not sure what. I don't know what happened with it between you two, but apparently you guys were arguing about something. I don't know why somebody showed that to me. But it happened. What's the deal with that? Apparently, like, I've been seeing videos from Scante and yes, 13 Yards of Victory as well. And people just go, hey, look, Ryan's fighting with Shaft. I'm like, okay. Well, apparently I'm being shown that. I don't know why. Like, what relevance does that have? Can you tell me? Because it's kind of news to me. So it's like weird stuff going on. Let's not be a joke on it. It's basically people gonna coming to me and going, "Hey, this is happening. Hey, this is that." Like, oh my god, I'm not sure what you want me to say about that. I don't know. I'm asking why too. But I'll say this: I'm not hating it. I'm not saying it's bad. But I'm coming across these things and just I'm looking at it like I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. It's just what people like talking about. So you don't even know about the fight you and Shaft had. And as Dave says, Ryan and Shaft always had disagreements. Why are they telling me that they were fighting? Well, why are they like, oh, look, they're fighting? I mean, like, and if you want to wonder, like, a lot of people come into my streams and go, hey, you just see this now. Hey, Casey was fighting with Joe, and Joe bent the knee to Joe, and Joe was making fun of his wife. And all I asked was, okay, well, it's timestamp in video, please, and not a thing in sight. So weird. People send people like telling me things. I'll just say that. Oh, yes, people tell me a lot of things. I don't know what they're hoping for, but I always come to the conclusion that somebody wants me to fight with somebody, and they miss it. I don't know. Like that's the only conclusion. I'm not sure why you want me to fight with these people. Why do you want me to fight with people? Why do you want me to go after people? Like, is that like what you want to see me do? Well, you say you're gonna listen to Ballsy attack people? Hold up. So how recently were you aware of this? Actually, most recently, just like yesterday, that I come across something like this with Shaft and Ryan arguing. So yes, people are like telling me about this. I'm like, that's why I ask. Like, I don't know. It's what it is, man. I'm being told. Get out of the way. But I'm not. You don't have to elaborate this, even if you don't know, because maybe this was just in the back in the past. I'm just telling you what I saw, basically. If that makes sense. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to talk about something interestingly briefly that happened because, like, oh boy, yeah. So basically, it happened kind of like 2 years ago. Is what you're saying, Ryan? So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. So like that's kind of best. So nothing really happened, huh? Well, let's just say, well, let's just leave it at that. Then I don't know why I was seeing it. I don't know why it pertained to me. I don't know how I was able to. I don't know why what people thought I was going to do about it. But again, no, it's better than it is. Anyway, anyway, so basically going off of that, I'm gonna talk about something more, something to talk about. Oh boy, I'm planning to leave my job. Can't wait. Oh yeah, you're right, Ryan. Yeah, look, you're right, Ryan. It doesn't really make sense. I don't know why. I don't know why it matters now, but it happened, I guess. But that's the point. And who cares? But anyway, I'm planning to leave my job as soon. Job. Oh, dude, you have no idea how glad I am to leave it. Though it's kind of actually complicated to find a new job. It was. I'll talk about it briefly and tell you why it's a complicated thing. For us young adults, white male young adults, unless you have your disability, it's unfortunate. But I'll say this: picture this: you work for a company 7 years, right? You do the best work you can. You are in charge of a lot of things. You make sure everything's good. You're in charge of the machine that makes the most dough for the company and basically the most profitable, right? And you run that solely and do it solo for quite some time. You make sure everything's lasered. You make sure everything's constructed. You make sure the machines produces the product good. You make sure it's stamped well. And then you stack it. You make sure it's stacked well. You deal with the labeling, and you're in charge of what goes in it and what goes out. Basically, all that stuff, right? Right. You do all this stuff, and you do this for 12 hours a day, moving 7 feet and back every day, just doing all this, and also fixing anything wrong with the machines. Okay, anything that like that. Okay. In addition to that, the people come by, your coworkers come by and be like, "We need to do this. That might make my job harder. Let's do that. That might make my job harder." Then, well, got to do this. Got to make my job harder. We got to pause and do this. Makes my job harder, right? We have to also try this, which still makes my job harder, right? Basically, making arrangements, changes for safety reasons or better, what do you call it? Performance, I guess, what you may call it. Though it turns out my job gets harder a bit, and I'm having to deal with all that. And on top of all that, I'm doing this for 12 hours, and I'm getting tired of doing it, and having to move fast back and forth. But that's not a problem, because I can forgive all of that, if they didn't cut my income in half. No, they literally cut my income in half, even more. They actually cut my income in half. Like, what? Dude, are you kidding me? And I go to HR, talking about them, and they're like, why had this happen? Oh, I don't know. You mean you don't know? My pay comes from you. I don't know, like, it's weird and stuff. I'm getting fucked. I'm literally getting fucked by my company that I spent 7 years with, only to have my pay get cut from under my nose. Here's the kicker here. I only took home $700. Yeah, $700 this month. Crazy, right? Only $700. And the kicker is they took 26.35% out of my paycheck. Which, if I'm only taking $700 home, but they also take 26.35%, they just took only $230 at most out of my income, which means I would have only taken $930 if they didn't cut that. So that's still a significant cut of my paycheck. They just cut it a bit more. I'm like, what the? Like, I'm moving. I'm done. Holy shit, dude! And you want to know what the crazy part about this is? When you try to find a job, you apply for jobs. I applied for multiple new jobs, basically. So I applied for all these things, applied for all these jobs for these positions. I can do all this stuff. Basically, hell, even having to go places just to be able to apply to a certain job. This is how it is, actually, in America now. Like back in the day, you could just walk into a restaurant, ask for a job, you probably have one. Today, if you want a job, you have to apply for Indeed. You have to put in all this information. You have to go here. You have to go there. You have to travel everywhere just to find a freaking different new job. That literally is America nowadays. And the worst of all, they care what freaking ethnicity you are. And the worst thing to be, if you're looking for a job, is to be a straight white male. Just so you know. They'll hire a Hispanic over a white male, just based on ethnicity. Just so you know. It's a true thing. So, yes. And it's definitely not easy for the young ones, because even when you get experience, he's young, fuck him. Young blood is not what they want. That's why this new generations is fucked. I'm fucked. But I can unfuck myself. That's why Bolsey is studying to be an entrepreneur now. To have more control of his income. To have more control of his life. And it's going to be quite a bit. I already have an idea. So yeah. I thought I would share that. I don't know what you guys think of that. But that happened. So yes. Midlife is... I'm having a midlife or a midlife crisis or something. I don't know what to call it. But I know it will. I can make it work. Because I'll be succeeding. Unfortunately, the jobs I applied to hasn't reached out to me yet. What are the odds? Not much, if anything, isn't. Anyway, thought I would share that. Hello, everybody. Anybody have a question for Bolsey? Because I'm kind of bored. I'll chill about many more. But, I'll chill a bit more. Anybody want to ask me something? Ask away. Hey, guys. I know. I'm bored. I was thinking about doing more streams of video game streaming. I haven't gotten that through yet. But I recently got a Kishi controller. Well, actually, I got that for Christmas. It works. I mean, it says God mode. I don't really worship controllers like that, but yeah, it works. It's fun. There's that. So wait a bit more, but until then, I'll call it a day. Call it a stream because I talked about pretty much everything. So yeah. Goosh, yeah. All right. So since that's it, I think I can end it here. See you later, everybody.